The 1964 Elizabeth II penny coin is a fascinating piece of British numismatic history, representing the final years of the pre-decimal coinage system that was in use before the United Kingdom switched to decimal currency in 1971, minted in large numbers. The 1964 penny holds both historical and collectible value due to its connection to the reign of Queen Elizabeth II and its role in everyday life during mid-20th century Britain. This coin features the first definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick. The portrait shows the young queen wearing a laurel wreath rather than a crown, symbolizing youth and continuity. Following the death of King George VI, the inscription around her reads, Elizabeth II, DIEN, Regina, IV, which translates to Elizabeth Fett, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. The obverse design is surrounded by a beaded border, which was characteristic of the era and helped protect the details from wear. The reverse side of the 1964 penny features Britannia, the iconic female personification of Britain. She is seated facing right, holding a trident in her left hand and a shield bearing the Union Jack in her right. This design, created by Leonard Charles Wyon, first appeared in 1860 and remained on the penny until the denomination was discontinued in 1970. The word one penny appears above, and the date 1964 is placed below Britannia. The intricate depiction of Britannia with her classical helmet and flowing robes symbolizes Britain's strength and maritime heritage. The coin was struck in bronze, composed of approximately 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin. It has a diameter of 30.81 millimeters, a thickness of 1.6 millimeters, and a weight of 9.45 grams. Its plain edge and substantial size give it a solid, traditional feel, distinct from the much smaller bronze pennies that came after decimalization. In terms of production, the 1964 issue was one of the highest mintage years for the pre-decimal penny, with more than 300 million coins struck at the Royal Mint. Despite the high mintage, coins in uncirculated or proof condition remain desirable among collectors, as they exhibit the sharp details of both the Queen's portrait and Britannia's figure. Circulated coins, however, are generally of modest monetary value, but hold great historical and sentimental importance, especially for collectors of British royal memorabilia. The 1964 penny is part of a lineage stretching back to the early days of British coinage. It represents the final years of a design that had become deeply rooted in British culture over more than a century. Although these coins no longer have legal tender status, they continue to be cherished for their craftsmanship, classic imagery, and connection to an era when pennies were still made of solid bronze rather than modern plated steel. Collectors today value this coin not just for its material, but for what it symbolizes: a period of post-war prosperity, the youthful optimism of a newly crowned queen, and the lasting legacy of traditional British design. When held in hand, a 1964 penny evokes the tactile history of the United Kingdom's coinage evolution, and the artistry that defined its currency before the sweeping modernization of the 1970s. Key specifications: country, United Kingdom. Year 1964. Monarch, Queen Elizabeth II. Designer, obverse, Mary Gillick. Designer, reverse, Leonard Charles Wyon. Composition, bronze, 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, 0.5% tin. Weight, 945. Diameter, 3081 millimeter. Edge, plain. Mintage, over 300 million. Value range, common in circulation. Uncirculated examples worth more to collectors. This 1964 penny remains an enduring relic of the old British monetary system, appreciated by historians, collectors, and enthusiasts who cherish the beauty and heritage embedded in its bronze surface.